All right, we're in physical science again, still 1109, we're getting near the end. We're going to look at page 53 and 54, doing operations with significant figures. First, we're going to focus on adding and subtracting, and then multiplying and dividing, and then talk about the key difference, because it's very important. It's like two categories of problems here, and there's a difference in how we solve them. All right, so I've made up some problems that are similar to what you have in the page, but not the same, okay? Let's look at this first one here. We are subtracting. So doing the math is easy. I can bring down a 2, bring down a 7, 7. Oops. I think I'm adding. I'm supposed to be subtracting. 3, 2. There we go, 2.372. Now that would be simple if we were just doing subtraction. However, because we're doing significant figures, we have to look at, what is the place value? This one's carried out to tenths, hundredths, thousandths place value. This one is only carried out to tenths place value. So which one is less precise? And it would be this one. Okay, so it has the least number of decimal places, so the place value is less, only one decimal place, okay? So we're going to round our answer to right here, the nearest tenths place. So in this case, our answer is going to be 2.4 meters, okay? So we do the math first. But then we look, which of these two has the least number of decimal places or is the least precise? Choose that place value. So the key is place value when we're adding and subtracting. Round it to the same place value. All right, let's contrast that with multiplying and dividing. So over here, now I'm going to get my calculator. I don't want to do this in my head, sorry. 67.52 times 8. Now some of you did it in your head and you already beat me. Good for you. 540.16. Is that what you got? If you did, awesome. Okay, keep that brain sharp. And then meters, okay, is our units. The whole point here is in physical science, we're dealing with measurements. So we need to include the units on our answer. Now let's talk about this. How many significant digits am I allowed to have in the answer? Well, this first one has 1, 2, 3, 4 significant digits. And then it's times 8. How many significant digits in 8? Did you think 1? It's not 1. Significant digits, I just said, only applies to measurements. 8 has no units. 8 is not a measurement. 8 tells us how many of these measurements we have, okay? So, we could say that this has an unlimited number or an infinite number of significant figures, 8.0000000, okay? So this is the measurement that has the least number of significant figures, and so that is the one that we're going to round to. So I need to round to 4 decimal places, which means I'm going to round to 1, 2, 3, 4. So the answer that I'm going to see in the answer key is 5402 meters. Okay, does that make sense? All right, let's do one more. This is division. So we're doing meters per second. Okay, meters per second. 251. I dare you to do this one in your head. 251.7 divided by 6. Okay, so we get 41.95 meters per second. That's the actual math on the calculator, but I'm not done. When we're dividing, we count How many significant digits do I have in each measurement? This top measurement has 1, 2, 3, 4 significant digits. The time here is measured in 2 significant digits. Remember, this 0 is significant because there is a decimal present. So that means the arrow is coming from the Pacific Ocean, gets stuck in the 6, and does not pop that 0. And so we have 2 significant digits. Okay? So I look at which of these numbers has the least number of significant digits, and it is the time. So that is what limits my answer. So I'm going to have to round this to 2 significant digits. 41.95 rounds to 42 meters per second. So in the score key, sometimes you'll see, perhaps when they show the steps, and they might show an answer, and you say, well, I got that answer, so I have it right. Well, we're concerned about significant digits, especially here in this first pace. That's what they're teaching us. So we want to think about these rules and apply them. All right, and I got one more tip for you. You ready? Remember this beautiful periodic table that came with your pace? Look at the front and the back. Rules for significant figures, okay? And on the back side as well, more rules for significant figures. So all the ones that are in your pace, you see summarized on here. So you can continue to refer to that throughout the entire course while you're doing all the math problems. Okay, sorry about that cough. Then on your lab, on your pace here, it says, watch lab 2, an investigation of accuracy and precision. And at the very beginning of the pace, it tells you to go to aceconnect.com. And if you try that, I mean, at least as I'm recording this, there's a problem that website takes you to their homepage at ACE. And then it's hard to find, well, where am I supposed to go from here? But if you follow the menu, there's a menu that says free resources. And then there's one that says, I believe, physical science. And then from there you can browse to find. Okay, because they moved them off of YouTube, and I believe they moved them to Vimeo. So there's less chance that there'll be a problem, less chance they'll be taken down. So it's kind of a protected space. But they had already printed the pace and then made that change over in the IT department. Okay, so that's a little behind the scenes site or information for you there, but hopefully you can find that lab now. There's also a link on the Pace Success website that will take you to the correct place to do that lab. All right, before you do that last checkup and self-test, I have one more video I want to make, and then we'll be done with Pace 1109.